You guys will have to forgive us. It's been a little while since we did a review, so I have to warm myself up here. Me. This movie is ass. Butts. Nothing but butts. This film is poo.
This film is foul.
Yeah. And that's something when you make a movie that already has, like, the critics headline, like, right there in the title. I have seen so many critics just go, like, oh, it's foul. It performed a foul. It's right there. But, I mean, what are you going to do? It's the truth. This film is terrible. And I'll let you guys know right now, I don't know what the hell Artemis Fowl even is, so I'm not going to go into how this is a bad adaptation, but I know it's a bad adaptation because the entire internet has been saying this is a bad adaptation, so okay, someone else can tell you more about that. All I can tell you is based on, like, purely a standalone film point of view, This is horrible. This is... Oh my God, I can't even imagine that this was going to come out in theaters at some point in time. I almost imagine that, like, Disney was sitting around going, please let something come along that will prevent this from being released in theaters and we can shuffle it away online. And it's like they wished on monkey's paw, because not only do, like, one of the biggest tragedies in American history ever happened that caused this to not come out in theaters, but also because we're all locked inside and we're all looking for entertainment, I think more people actually ended up watching this than would have seen it if it came out in theaters. So yes, this is Artemis Fowl, which, from what I understand, it's based on a series of books that's about a child supervillain. Like, apparently, like, he is an outspoken, like, 12-year-old supervillain. Like, that's his whole
like, basically, like, from what I understand, I have not read the books, but, like, from my basic understanding, it's basically, like, the complete opposite of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like, Harry Potter is, like, this magical kid who's, like, naive and innocent and wants to do good. Artemis Fowl has no magic, but he's incredibly smart, and he's like, fuck you, I do what I want. And
also, the author of Artemis Fowl, very nice person, apparently, I guess. If it's the exact opposite of this. I know nothing about, by the way, I know nothing about the author of Artemis Fowl. He could turn out to be a terrible human being for all I know. I'm just going on the gag that if it's the opposite of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling is a terrible human being. So, anyway, that's another discussion. So, this film, what it is about is that Artemis Fowl, he is, as you said, he's a very smart 12-year-old kid. God damn, my hair is getting long.
Yes, we're all getting very fluffy.
Yes. Yeah, so Artemis Fowl, he's this 12-year-old kid, incredibly smart, and his dad is someone who studies, like, artifacts.
Yeah.
But then one day he disappears, and Artemis Fowl discovers that all the legends that his dad used to tell him about, like, fairies and pixies and leprechauns and trolls, apparently they're all true. Mm-hmm. And his dad was kidnapped by someone, and now he has to figure out how to rescue him. But they could only afford one set, I guess. Because, it wasn't until, like, near the end of this film that I realized they've been in this one house the entire film.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, it's a book series, so I'm assuming that they were trying to make it a movie series as well. So they wanted to, like, start here and then, like, have, like, an expanded world go on, but it's like...
Well, you can still make it good. Like, what you described is probably what happened in the book, too. It probably all started at one thing and went on to other things. But, oh my God, I can't imagine, like, making something this incompetent. And it's not just, like, plot. I'm not going on, like, oh, the plot is silly. I'm just like, hey, you know what? Kid discovers that his dad's legends about, like, mystical creatures were true. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing wrong with that. And then the kid tries to use his own intelligence to outsmart the mystical creatures. All right, cool. Totally fine. I can absolutely see that. I ain't criticizing this plot at all. I'm criticizing the way the story was told. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, it stars a 12-year-old child, doesn't mean it needs to sound like it's being told by a 12-year-old child. Actually, you know what? That's disrespectful to 12-year-olds. This is like a 6-year-old is what this sounds like. Because this entire film is like, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and then this happened, and this happened.
What makes this even funnier is it's being narrated by a dwarf.
Oh, yeah. This thing opens up with Josh Gad, which I'll give credit to something in here. Josh Gad, for one of the first times in his life, didn't feel like Josh Gad in the movie. I looked at that and went, you're playing a character, man. All right, and I know you're an actor. I know you're a very talented actor. You've done a lot of roles with a lot of variety. But no matter what role he does, there's always that moment where the Josh Gad comes out. And in this one, I was like, no, you're playing this thing full on the entire time. Granted, I don't want to listen to you in any of these narration scenes because doing a really gruff voice like this. So every now and then, this really gruff voice just comes in there out of nowhere. And I was like, oh my god, dude, can we have a narrator who isn't just gargling marbles right now?
And not only that, but there's like 2 characters that talk like that.
Well,
like,
one of them, in all fairness, the other one was Judi Dench, and it kind of hit me. I haven't heard Judi Dench talk in a while, so it's just kind of like, is that just her voice now? Because she's getting up there in age, and I haven't heard her in a while, so I was just kind of like, is that just her voice? No, I don't know. So I'm not gonna criticize that one too much.
No, but it's like you already have one character like that. There's no need for another character like that.
If they did tell her to do that, if they did tell her to sound like that, yeah, it raised questions of why did you do that? But I'm not gonna criticize too much because I don't know.
No.
But yes. So the entire thing is being told from the present day by Josh Gad's gnome character, which he's supposed to be like
a very dwarf, not a gnome.
Sorry, dwarf character, which he is supposed to be a very tall dwarf.
Like he got cursed. He got cursed to be taller than an average dwarf. And it's like, if I do this, will you promise to make me my normal size again or some shit?
Yeah, like that was it. And I kept looking at this thing the entire time. I was like, okay, so this is gonna be like a little like twist or something where it's real like, oh no, he was never a dwarf. He was actually a human who got like raised by dwarves or something.
It's like Elf, but with dwarves.
That's what I thought it was going to be. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Each hay.
Hey, buddy.
Yes, this is the other fluff dog.
Yes, it's the other thing that's covered in hair right now. But no, it turns out that he is a dwarf, which we learned when he shows off his dwarf powers. Which is, oh my.
I don't know if that's actually part of the book or not, but.
Well, it's not like the book probably had illustrations of that scene play out. This was someone's vision. This was someone's vision of how this would work. And oh man, you can feel in that scene, when he uses his dwarf powers, you can feel everyone's collective score for this film just taking. You can feel it just declining by the second that all that is happening. It's like a combination of horrible special effects and horrible ideas of what to do with those special effects. Just meeting in that perfect clusterfuck storm that it's nothing that can be planned. Like, nobody can make something that bad on purpose. It's one of those, like, magical bad movie moments. That's like, oh my god. You guys thought this was good, or you just decided to pack it in and call it a day. I don't know which one it was, but you definitely did not expect to create this when you started making this movie. This was not in your plans when you started this, and you were just sitting there watching it like all the rest of us, just looking at this thing like, oh my god, what did we do? You're like Dr. Frankenstein looking at the monster coming to life when that scene comes on screen. Oh my god. But as I said, this thing has got like just the worst exposition. Like, this thing is just being told in one of the worst ways of any film that I have seen in a long time.
It really is nothing but exposition.
It's not. Yeah, it kind of is.
Like most.
But it moves so fast from one thing to the next. It doesn't even feel like someone is explaining it to you. Because there's also scenes where, like, you don't know what the fuck is happening. Like, you mentioned that this was like Harry Potter. It feels like this is Harry Potter. If the movie started like 5 minutes before Hagrid showed up with no explanation for anything, like no talk about Voldemort, no talk about his parents or anything like that. Just 5 minutes in, you'll know why they're at this house or anything, and then all of a sudden, like, Hagrid shows up, you're a wizard, Harry. And then there's no explanation from Hagrid about what wizards are. He's just now at the school. He's got the sorting hat on his head all of a sudden. And now all of a sudden, him and Ron Weasley are good friends. That's what the pacing of this thing feels like. But then every now and again, it cuts to Hagrid in the present day, just like, oh yeah, and Harry, he was a very special boy. Cut back to that, it's like, that didn't tell me anything there, Hagrid. Yeah, that's what this movie is like. It's been a while since I've gone off like this. Holy crap. Oh my god. Man, here I was sitting around just going, I don't know what we're going to do for the worst movies of the year list when that comes around, because there weren't really any movies this year. I don't know what our best and worst of the year list is going to look like. And then, Disney Plus provided. Disney Plus provided. Pete, you're going to have to get down. So, yeah, this film, you want to know the bad pacing on this thing? We get introduced to the land of fairies and gnomes and all that stuff and all the people underground. And there's like a troll that's rampaging around, but like everyone is gone because they're doing a thing. They're searching for the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Which I don't even remember what it's called, which is sad that I don't remember what it's called. Because if you want a drinking game that will make a suicide look like a drinking game, start taking a drink every time that they say the name of this MacGuffin. But still, it's like so forgettable. I've already forgotten what it was. But they keep shoving it in there over and over and over again.
It's like the Archron or something.
Some crap like that.
I don't know. It looked like an acorn, so I'm going to call it Acorn.
Yeah. It looked like an acorn. It did. It looked like a bejeweled acorn. Like a bedazzled acorn. Like a squirrel just went nuts with a bedazzler.
Squirrel went nuts with the nut.
I see what I did there. I'm not even going to stop and care about that. So, yeah, this whole thing, they're constantly trying to get this thing, and like some people go off to get it, but then there's like one fairy, I think she was, pixie, I don't know what she was, but she had wings.
And pointy ears.
So maybe she was an elf, I don't know, but she is talking about how her father was viewed as a traitor, but you don't really get any information on that at all until like way later, and then it's just a very quick like, oh yeah, here's the deal. And then you just quickly move past that thing. But she's talking about how her father was viewed as a traitor, and they have to go out and stop this troll that's attacking a wedding. So she goes up there, and apparently the underground magic people have technology that can stop time, but sometimes it stops time within a bubble, and then sometimes it stops time outside of the bubble, and there's no real explanation of that. I don't know how that's different. But so she stops this thing. It had been like a good 20, not even that, 15 minutes since she had mentioned to her dad. No talk about the dad ever again. She goes up there, stops this troll, and then she's flying back, and then she immediately just stops, goes off in a different direction, and then Drew Dinch gets on there, where are you off to? And then she goes, to find my father. And I went, I forgot that was your plot. I forgot that was your entire story. And there's nothing that reminds her of that. There's nothing that she sees that makes her think of that. She goes out on a mission, comes back, boop, I gotta go and find my dad. And so she goes to this tree that Atticus Fowl...
Artemis.
I keep wanting to say Atticus Finch. I'm sorry. I keep wanting to say Atticus Finch.
Well, they both have the same initials.
Yeah. But Artemis Fowl is scoping out this tree because it was in his dad's notes, which it is so perplexing how he was able to put any of this stuff together. Because the notes that he finds, I mentioned, they don't give you the exposition that you need, but they think that they do, because there's so many moments of him looking at notebooks from his dad, and he just instantly goes, oh, we mentioned this, so that means this thing, and then this means that thing, so that means this, so we have to go here to find all this stuff. How on earth how did you Goldblum your way through that? How did you just...
Because he's a criminal mastermind.
Yes. Televisions have radio signals that can go... Signals, the human body, viruses, we can put virus through a signal. Yes, I saved the world. Yes. That's how he's figuring out the fairies. That's how he's putting all this crap together. And he just instantly goes to this tree, and he's just scoping out the tree, finds her, kidnaps her, and okay, I'm going to put to you what the entire plot of this is, which, by the way, this thing, if you can watch it on Disney Plus, you've probably already seen it. You have no interest in seeing this thing if you haven't already seen it. So, yeah, we're not even saving the spoilers until later. This is the entire plot of the thing. He has to get the bedazzled acorn so that he can have someone with magic use it, which in all fairness, at this point he doesn't know that he can't use it, but he knows that someone can use it to instantly teleport to his dad and rescue him. So he's trying to find the bedazzled acorn, and he knows the bedazzled acorn is somewhere within his house, but he can't find it. So he kidnaps a fairy, so that way all the fairies will come to him and attack him, and he'll stop them from attacking, and he'll say, I'm not giving the fairy back, so that way they'll have to send a dwarf, because dwarves are really good at tunneling, to tunnel into his house to save the fairy, but he also knows that dwarves can't resist treasure, so the dwarf will be naturally attracted to where in the house the bedazzled acorn is found, so that way he can then find it and use it to save his dad. And none of that is explained. Like, you have to piece that together yourself, that was his plan, and there is nothing that would give him any idea. He has no idea that, if the elves are all, like, the amount of stuff that he finds written by his dad, I'm sorry that I'm spitting everywhere, but I'm like, when you're filled with this much rage, like, it just comes all out. He has no idea from the stuff that his dad has left that the elves or pixies or whatever they are, like, that they, would be able to launch some massive tactical strike on his house that he knows he'd be able to fend off. Like, he just knows, yeah, I can absolutely fend these guys off. No problem at all. Which he's able to fend them off because he found the weapon on the pixie that he kidnapped. But how is he supposed to know that she was going to have a weapon on her, but also she has one weapon on her? When it's time for him to fend them off, it's him and his butler, which we'll get into the butler in a second, but it's him and the butler fending them off with 2 weapons. How does he have 2 now? Where did the second one come from? This is so incompetent. Okay, sorry.
All right, before you went off on that rant, I was gonna say this movie feels incredibly racist against dwarfs. It's like, oh, they like to eat dirt and they can't resist stealing things. Like, wow, that's pretty mean and nasty.
In all fairness, dwarves aren't real, like...
I know, but I'm saying it's still kind of...
Yeah, they have no real redeeming qualities, yes. Yeah, absolutely. But yes, so there is no idea that there's nothing that he was given that would give him the idea that, yes, I'll be able to trap all of them together here and fend them off and convince them to send a dwarf in. He has no idea that they team up with dwarves. He has no idea that they are working together at all. He just knows. He just knows everything.
He knows everything because he's super smart, genius, evil mastermind.
It is Goldblum logic, as I said, taken to the most extreme I have probably ever seen it. Because it feels like maybe 5 to 10% of this film was cut out, but all the bits that were cut out were the parts that explain everything. Like, it feels like all the important parts were taken out. It feels like if you got some furniture from IKEA and they said, oh, it's missing, it's just missing one part in there. Oh, okay. And the part it was missing was the screws. And it's like, oh, and the instructions. So it feels like you just got something and there's no way to put it all together. And even if you had the stuff that you need to put together, you would have no map of how to put that together. It's insane. It is insane how incompetent this is. I was just sitting there at a point just flabbergasted that this made it to any format, that anybody put this out. I honestly have no idea how this ended up like getting as far along as it did. And I guess we should talk about some of the acting in here.
What acting?
Yeah, because our protagonist, his entire personality is just I know things, which is at least like something to his character. Like, he's got some stuff going for him, but
here's the thing: is like Disney didn't want Artemis Fowl to be seen as the bad guy.
Yes, apparently, yeah, I found this out from Twitter. Apparently, in the books, Artemis Fowl, it is a supervillain.
Yeah,
he is a protagonist who happens to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
At the end of this film, they have to bust into like some super prison to get out Josh Gad the dwarf, who was the one telling this story to some people in a camera, and they bust in there and get him out. And I kept looking at it going, I don't know why did he have to go in here to get this thing? But apparently it was all part of some plan. But the plan was to get him out of this place. I don't remember. Maybe it is said, because I am like, it seriously is disappeared from my mind so quickly. So many parts of this. Because so little of it was put together that my brain needs space to work on how to fit this together, so that if there was any vital information, just scrap all that. We don't have room for that. So maybe there was a reason why he had to break in there, but it feels like he just broke in there just so he could have someone to tell the story to. And then they break him out of there, and there's like, who do you think you are? And they say something like that, and he goes, I'm a criminal mastermind. And I went, wait, what? You're a criminal? When were you a criminal?
I mean, I guess when you kidnapped the fairy, but it's.
But I mean, like, you're doing that to save your dad. And it's like, it feels like you came to an elite. You like worked things out. Like, I mean, Judi didn't seem on your side there at the end. The only one who wasn't on your side was the one guy who betrayed Judi Dench, which he's got his own thing going on that we get nothing on. There is no explanation on that guy who is apparently working for the bad guy. Why? What's the bad guy's plan? What is the bad guy trying to do? And the bad guy, by the way, the bad guy is some, like, 80s cartoon villain. Mm-hmm. Like, some guy, like, you know, like, he is a...
No, it's a she.
It is?
Yeah, they revealed her name, Opal. Yeah, like, she...
Totally missed that.
But yeah, she's basically like Dr. Claw with, like, this raspy voice, and you can never see her face.
It is one step below Dr. Claw. Because Dr. Claw, at least the voice on Dr. Claw is intimidating. Here, it is an effect that they put there. It is an auto-tune effect, basically.
Yeah.
Of just where it's like, just this raspy voice that they just add to her with a bunch of electronic
No, it's like,
sounds.
you know those smokers who need to put the thing in?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's 100% what it is. You're right. That's 100% what it is. It's like, that's not intimidating in any way. Are you about to, like, give me, like, a vital lesson in, like, not smoking? Is that what this is? Are you about to show me, like, what my lungs are like after, like, a couple packs a day? Like, is that what's going on here? Was this entire film sponsored by the Truth Campaign? What's happening here? That's what those guys were called, right? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I haven't heard from them in a while. No, they have a higher budget than this film had. This is like if it was sponsored by the DARE campaign. Also, because much like the DARE campaign, after watching it, I really needed to smoke. Don't smoke, kids. What I just did there was a way better no smoking ad than anything DARE has ever done. Yeah, so this guy's like working for like Opal, but like we don't really get like any information on why or what Opal's plan is or what he is doing.
She mentioned that she wanted like the fairies to like destroy the humans and take back the world.
Okay.
It is your generic evil villain.
Why do you need Artemis Fowl's dad held kid because he's the one who had the acorn? Like,
yes, and apparently if you have the acorn, you can open portals to different dimensions and shit like that. I don't know. No one knows what the stupid acorn does, but apparently it's powerful.
They did say that. They did say that you can open up portals and stuff. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So they did say that. But they need... All I could think about this was like, okay, so you kidnapped Artemis Fowl's dad so Artemis Fowl could get it, but Artemis Fowl doesn't know where the acorn is. Artemis Fowl's dad knows. Why not kidnap the son and then have the guy who knows where it is be the one to bring you the acorn?
Make the son your hostage. It's like, give me the acorn or your son gets it, or something like that.
It is so it's so... And, like, again, they had one location, everything else was filmed in one house. By the way, again, we still haven't even gotten to the butler. There is this guy, which, again, it feels like it's written by a 6-year-old who has a vague understanding of the things that they like in other movies. Like, yeah, there's the big tough guy, so we're gonna have the big tough guy here. Does the big tough guy have, like, any character traits, like, anything to him at all? Well, he's tough. Okay, but, like, beyond that, no? Okay, cool, but even though he's tough, you still have to have the little child do more impressive things. So there's really no point to him in here.
It's like, I'm your father figure while your real father is kidnapped or some shit like that.
Except that he doesn't do anything other than... Man, that dude is a prop. That dude is just standing there.
He's not as bad as the girl, though, his niece.
I kept forgetting she was in this. I kept forgetting she was in this movie.
Like, apparently she, like, wasn't even in the book. Like...
If she feels like it. She feels like she was added in after they had filmed the entire movie. And they're like, wow, we really need, like, another character in here. So we'll just shoot some additional scenes and, like, shove them in here every now and again. And that's what they did. It feels like that's what they did. And all I could think was, why? what did you need the other little child in here for?
Well, this is aimed at kids, so we're gonna need more than one kid.
But the elf is also a child. I don't know. It's so weird. It feels like maybe it was one of the producer's kids or something. It feels like she had to have some connections in there because I have no idea why you would add.
I feel like if this actually did become a series, she would end up being Artemis's forced love interest.
Maybe that was their thing, because listen, I'll take any explanation I can give, because she just disappears from, like, vital scenes in here, and then the scenes that she is in, again, it feels like they were added in later, because it feels like they didn't matter. Like, you could cut every single one of her scenes out of here, and, man, cut all of her scenes out, add back in there all the scenes that would maybe explain what the hell is going on. That's what this film needs. Oh my god, this is...
So I know we mentioned like how most of this takes place at like Artemis's house and everything, but we also get like a glimpse of like the elf world and everything.
A glimpse.
How did you feel about the elf world?
It's just I'm going to ignore the bad CGI. And just talking about like what we got in there, it is so them just trying to make things that are not badass. Like, there's a guy who he runs, like, all the security and all the tech stuff down here, and he's a centaur. Mm-hmm. And he's, like, hitting buttons with his feet on the ground at one point. I'm just like, how? Like, okay, are you supposed to be silly or are you supposed to be cool? You gotta pick a lane now, man. You gotta pick a lane. Is this a comedy or is it action? Because you are not merging these two. You gotta pick one or the other right now. It didn't work. Like, there's the moment in which, like, apparently Judi Dench is a leprechaun, and when she gets out and she arrives on the surface and she appears in, like, her battle outfit, which, oh man, that was hilariously stupid in and of itself. I thought that was going to be the dumbest thing about that moment. She then goes, "Top of the morning to you." Oh, someone wrote that. Oh, and they thought it would be hilarious, and it was, but not for the reasons you thought. Not for the reasons you thought it was. Oh, this film is crazy. This film is bat nuts.
At that moment, you said this is definitely racist against Irish people.
No, I didn't care. I am Irish. Trust me, listen. You can say whatever you want about the Irish. I don't give a crap about that. One of the most popular sports teams in all of America is a tiny, angry Irish man doing this. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about the Irish. Trust me. Other people have it way worse than the Irish do right now. Yeah. I don't give a crap about that. Yeah, this film, it's so, but it does feel like it wasn't written by an Irish person trying to come in here and be like, yeah, I know about Ireland, right? No, you don't. You know about a box of Lucky Charms. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to say about this film, but there's nothing really that's gonna, like, sum it all up. I mean, we did talk about the bad Josh Gad special effects scene. We did cover that. Okay, I remember we covered that. We haven't pointed this out. At the end of this, Josh Gad is just on their side for no reason. He went into this place to steal the acorn, and like he did this so that they could like commute his sentence in the place where in the elf jail that he's at, so they could commute his sentence. He goes down there, he steals the thing, and then he's just automatically on Atticus's side. Just like, there's no reason for that.
Artemis!
Whatever. Who cares? He's just automatically on their side.
I get what they're trying to do. It's like, hey, we're a ragtag crew of misfits. Let's team up.
Hold on. You just summed it up.
Yes.
I get what they're trying to do here. Is exactly what the writing of this film was. Like, yeah, everybody gets how these films work, right? So this happens.
It's like, hey, we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. We know, like, all these weird people coming together and fighting the big baddie.
Again, I don't mean to use the same metaphor. I don't mean to use the same metaphor twice. But like if you put a chair together, but you didn't use any screws in there, any little like plugs. What do you call those little wood dowels? You didn't use any dowels or anything in there. and you just put it there, you put the legs down, and then you put the seat on top of it, and it was all just basically balancing there. And you went, yeah, you've all seen how a chair works before. It's got the 4 legs, and then it's got the thing that you sit on. Bam, it's done. The second that like a leaf falls on that thing, crumble to dust. Like, that's what this is. It feels like the writers of this thing was like, yeah, you know how movies work. Yeah, I do. Do you? Yes. It feels like if you showed someone like just like a 5-second snippet of this, it'd be like, well, I guess that's a film. But it's like, no, when you tie all the 5-second snippets together, it's like, oh, none of these 5 seconds like merge into a thing. This is insanity to me.
No, but it's like, you know, like how like people will like make a computer watch a series and then like have it like
oh my god, yes,
yes, it's like that.
Holy crap. That's this. Congratulations, writers. You still have jobs. Oh, you're still going to be needed when the quarantine is lifted and we can all go back outside and movies can start getting made again. We're going to need writers again, everyone. Because I don't think that this is going to be the thing that Disney wants to put all their money into. Oh, let's go ahead and give our score on this thing. I'm giving this a 2.
I don't know what to give this because I have no idea what the fuck I just watched.
Fair enough. Listen, the score is here just so that we have something to go out on. Like, you know, after everything we said, the score doesn't even matter. It's just here to be the period mark at the end of all this.
Or exclamation point.
Yeah. Or question mark? Hooray! Question mark?
This is a movie, I guess?
In the loosest definition of movie. So yeah, that's it.
My rating would be you didn't even try at all, star sticker.
My rating would be a plum floating in a man's hat filled with perfume. That is my rating. Oh. Shout out to anyone who got that reference. No shout outs. You've all seen this show enough. You know what 90% of my references come from. Let's see, was it Futurama or The Simpsons? It's one or the other. Every now and again there's a Seinfeld in there. Oh, holy crap. Whew. I don't know what the next thing is that's coming out.
I don't know either.
I do know, I'm going to let you guys know this. HBO Max is now a thing. Mm-hmm. Even though it costs 3 times as much as Disney Plus, oh man, is it worth it compared to this? I am finally watching Game of Thrones, so considering there's still not going to be any movies for a while, which they're saying movies are going to start returning in August, I'm going to let y'all know right now. America, we're all really stupid, and a lot of us are deciding to go back out there without masks on again. So maybe movie theaters will open up again in August, but I'm letting you know right now, it ain't gonna be safe, and I am risking my life to see New Mutants. Now when that shit is gonna be on Disney Plus again in like 3 months after that.
Yeah, like maybe you guys can like suggest like a new series or something coming out on HBO Max and like ask us to review it or some shit.
So I'm gonna let you guys know right now. We're finally going to start watching Game of Thrones, so we are going to watch Game of Thrones, and we're going to do a season-by-season review of that, watching it for the first time, which for anybody who's like, oh, I'm going to mess with you, and I'm going to spoil it in the comments, I already know everything that happens in Game of Thrones, which is the other thing that's going to make this interesting. It's going to be, how do I like this, knowing the turnout, knowing what happens, because I know in detail everything that happens in that final season. So I'm kind of watching this from an interesting point of view, because there's stuff in like that very first episode that I was like, oh, this is stuff that people were complaining about in the final episode. But I can see how this guy ties together.
Yeah,
my voice is shot, by the way, from yelling about this.
We're pretty much going to be like, so where does this turn to shit?
Yeah, we're going to be like, all right, where was this bad at any point? So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be a new show that we're doing. Mm-hmm. Also, Watchmen, you guys want me to review Watchmen? I can finally watch Watchmen, so we're finally going to be doing that. For the patrons this month, I will be doing a review. It's going to be just me, but she might be here for it too. Peach, you just bit my entire hand.
Peach, that's rude.
But for the patrons, I will be doing a review of the first season of Doom Patrol, which I'll let you know right now. Doom Patrol's really damn good, everybody. And not even by, like, the regular superhero TV standards. Like, yeah, you know, he said a thing that I know, so I like it now. No, none of that crap. This is actual good television, everyone. It's good like that. So, yeah, we're going to be doing reviews like that. We will be taking full advantage of that HBO Max. But also, it's kind of fun to just rant about stuff, and I know you guys, I know that you like me ranting about stuff. So we've been trying to work on this, but I haven't found a good thing to start on yet. I do want to start doing like a regular weekly bad movie review, because listen, the world needs to laugh right now. And if me being pissed off at something that I watched on TV can make you guys laugh and clap and smile along, I'll do it. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that soon sometime. That might be starting in July, but we do have plans to make up for the no movies. Because, as I said, even if movies do return in August, I ain't fucking seeing them. I ain't doing that. Y'all can risk your lives for that crap. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in and follow us around the internet on Twitter at Professor Lori and also on Twitch at Professor Lori, which starting in about 2 weeks, I will have more details about this in a little bit, but starting in about 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a week-long charity stream over there. So thank you guys very much. Come back next time.
Bye.
Wave to the audience. Okay. I want attention now. I'm now the star of the show.
Yes.